All right, once again, I am going to be using my iPad because I do not have the print copy of the book yet. So I do apologize. There's going to be some flipping around in there because I don't have a book to actually do bookmarks. This is campaign turn number 2, right there. And I'm going to go ahead and do the steps for that. So once again, we have the step 1 is recovery. None of my troopers or crew were injured, so that doesn't happen. Number 2 is repairs. Again, doesn't happen. My colony has not taken any damage, so that's good. We go straight to scout reports. Now, for this particular one, I can do a scout explore action. I can select a map sector that is not enemy occupied and that has not been exploited. So basically any of these blank spaces here on my map. It says roll 2d6 twice and pick the lowest score. The first is the resource. The second is the hazard. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to roll 2d6 and pick the lowest, and this will be the resource level. Now, where am I going to explore? I'm going to explore this right next to my home, the colony grid. So we'll do this one. The lowest is a 4. So the resource on this one is a 4, and the hazard level is a 4. Oh, and by the way, it says if you roll doubles, the sector also contains ancient signs. Okay, so I do a hazard 4, and on page 61 for ancient signs, each time you obtain an ancient sign, you may roll a d6. On a roll equal to or below the number of ancient signs. So I had one on the last one, so now I'm at 2. And basically you roll a d6, and if I roll a 1 or 2, it opens up a delve expedition, which allows me to go below ground into some of the ancient civilizations. I rolled a 5, so I do not. All right, so the more ancient signs you find, the number goes up, the more likely you're going to roll below that and get to do a delve. But right now I do not get to do that. All right, so after marking the values on the map, which I did, I go back and I do a scout discovery, which is a D100. And of course, I did not get my D100 die, so hang on one second. You know, as many dice as I have, I shouldn't ever be short on them. All right, let's see, D100, that will be high, that will be low. Okay. So for the scout discovery, you roll a D100. Yellow is high. I rolled a 42. The table is on page 59. A 42 for the scout discovery is exploration report. Select any sector that has not been explored and generate resource and hazard levels. So I get to do it again, all right? So we'll pick the one to the south. I'm sort of branching out. So the one to the south, roll the 2 for the resource, 4. All right, so the resource is 4, and the hazard will be 3. Okay. And that's the scout report for this week. Step 4 is we don't have enemy. Oh, step 4 is enemy actions. Okay, so let's go to that one. That one's always the one that makes me nervous because there are enemies out there that want to do me damage, and I haven't even met them yet. So we will go to step 4. While you're going about your business, the enemy has plans of their own. I haven't yet got any tactical enemies, so I don't have to worry about that. Below, if there are none on the map, skip this step. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. That's where you have tactical enemies, which are non-animal, like non-life forms on the planet. These are enemies that may be coming from outer space, competing for the planet. All right, so step 5 is a colony event. It says you roll a D100, yellow's high. That is a 41. 41 is a colonist find. Unconfirmed reports indicate something of interest. Receive an ancient sign. Well, this is good. I got 3 ancient signs. And if I go to page 61, it says, when you obtain an ancient sign, roll a d6. So if I get a 3 or less, the number of ancient signs, okay, hold on. On a roll equal or below. 6. I do not. Okay, nothing there. And then we go to step 6, which is the mission selection. Now, the last mission, I chose, what was it, an expedition or exploration? I chose the investigate mission. So now, what do I want to do? I thought about doing a hunt. A hunt sounds pretty cool. Let me go to page 114 and get to the different missions, and we'll see. Missions, okay. So, each planet, when you begin a campaign, you will have a campaign condition table with 10 blanks. Every time a mission instructs you to determine a condition, roll a d100. The expedition one did not tell me to do that, so I don't have to do that. That was the exploration mission. It takes place in a map. It says roll once for battlefield. Oh, maybe I didn't. Hold on. Maybe I did this wrong. I did an investigate mission. Sorry. Investigate. The names are all similar. This one said there are no battle conditions. That's why I didn't have to roll for battle conditions. Now this time I'm thinking I want to do a hunt. Or do I want to do a science mission? Science missions are risky because you're sending out scientists and you only get to send out 2 characters from your roster. And it also uses a smaller 2 foot by 2 foot table. Let's hold off on that one. Let's do a hunt. A hunt is going to let me use, let's see, you will deploy up to 6 figures. And I don't think I get to use grunts. I do not. Do I? No. It'll tell you if you get to use grunts, but I do not. So the hunt mission is select any map sector within 4 spaces. 3 by 3 table, 2 uncertain features, roll once for battlefield, deploy 6. After deploying, roll a 2d6. If the roll is between 2 and 4, you are attacked by the Slin. Ooh, the Slinner. Determine the opposite. Okay, hold on. What does a patrol mission do? Same thing. The Slin may show up for that. And that one, you can deploy 2 characters from your roster, as well as a single fire team of up to 4 grunts. What's the reward for that? If you complete, you get to increase colony morale. And if you complete all 3 objectives, you get a post-mission find. That's iffy. I think I'm going to stick with my initial thing and do a hunt mission. All right, so let's do this. So for the hunt mission, it will be a 3 by 3 table. There will be 2 uncertain features. I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure how that works. Once for battlefield condition. All right, so battlefield condition. All right, let me explain this one to you. At the beginning of the missions, there are 10 possible battlefield conditions that can exist for my planet, the one I've created for my colony. When it starts, they are not full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for one, and because they're blank, I'll just show you how it works. So I'm going to roll, turn that off. I'm going to roll the D100. It's going to come up blank. So I'm rolling a 58. So 58 falls between 53 and 62 on the table. That's the condition I'm going to write in. And where do you get the condition? It's on the next page. It's also a D100. I rolled a 95. 95 is no condition, all clear. So I will write all clear for that. And then, again, the next time I have to do a mission where it says roll for your battlefield, if I roll a 53 to 62, it's all clear. I don't have to roll on the master table. So that's pretty cool. Ideally, what you'd love is all clear, all clear, all clear, all clear, all clear. But it's not going to happen. All right, so we have an all clear battlefield, which is good because a lot of times what that does is it reduces visibility, or it makes movement in like muddy, where you have to move half your speed, something like that. All right, so for the hunt, I rolled once for the battlefield, so I did that. Players, I'm going to use 6 crew, which can be any combinations from your roster or grunts. Okay, so it can be 6 crew, roster or grunt. I won't be sending my robot on this because the robot, don't want it to get damaged. All right, so it says after you deploy, you roll a d6. If it's a 2 to 4, you're going to be attacked by Slen. Determine the opposition is explained on one page. Slen will set up in a random, or in any other result, you'll be hunting for life forms. So it says to go to page 152. Hold on. All right. Once again, just flipping back and forth. So the way it works is I'm going out to hunt. Apparently, if I roll a 2 to 4, let's see what happens. I roll a 2. So Slen will show up. The Slen are these like, they're this nuisance race that is going to attack me a lot. They are just, they're trying to take over the planet as well. The Slen will set up in a random selected terrain feature near the opposite battlefield edge. Locate 6 terrain features closest and roll randomly for each Slen pair. They operate in pairs, by the way. On any other result, you'll be hunting life forms. So I am not going to be hunting life forms. I'm hunting Slen. Roll a d6 for each terrain feature. Each 6 results in a contact being placed. Okay, we'll get there once I set up the actual map. The first time a contact is revealed to be a hostile life form. So this is weird. So each 6 are as you play the game the first time each terrain is spotted, you same result. So are there contacts, or is it Slen, or is it both? If the Slen are attacking, you are trying to fight them off. That's the objective. The mission ends when your squad is no longer on the table, either due to casualties or moving off. If you're fighting the Slen, the mission also ends if you drive them off. If the Slen abandon the battle, you can claim any remaining objectives that were not claimed already. If you fight the Slen, you may roll a post-mission fine. After all, they would not be here if there was not something of interest. And then, campaign factor. If the sector has a hazard factor roll of d6, on a 5 or 6, it is reduced by 1. So do I have to pick where I'm going? Any sector that has a resource value of 1. Got it. Okay. Any sector within 4 spaces of you. So what I can do is I can go to my map, and I can say, oh, well, there's resources here, resources here, resources here. We're going to go to this one right here, resource 6, because it says I can go to any map sector within 4 of my home. Well, that's within 4. So we're going to go there for one. This is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sector 2, 4. 2, 4. 2 on the vertical, 4 on the horizontal. I think that's how it said to do it. And the resources are 6, and the hazard is 2, and that will affect certain things. Okay, interesting. So I'm basically, if the sector has a hazard factor, it does. Roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, it is reduced by 1. Did not. Okay, so it's going to be a hazard of 2. All right, there you go. So I will be bringing 6 crew member. I don't know who that's going to be, but it will probably be all of my troopers. And maybe a scout and a scientist. That would be 6. Do I want to bring grunts? Grunts are sort of expendable. So if I lose them, it's not a big deal. I think I should, because on the hunt mission, there's really nothing for the scientist or the scout to investigate. At least I don't think there is. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all my troopers, and I'm going to take 2 grunts. And I'll outfit them, and I'll let you know what the weapons and all are when I go to the table. So give me a moment to set it all up, and I'll be right back. All right, it is time to fight. If you watched the earlier part of this video, you'll know that I rolled randomly and I accidentally triggered the Slyn, S-L-Y-N. I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I know that it's sooner or later I'm going to encounter them. This is going to be a hunt mission. The reason I chose the hunt mission was there was a slight chance that I would be able to hunt some of the native life forms. And you learn things about them when you can get rolls for research and stuff like that. But since I rolled for Slyn, the rules for the hunt mission change. It's basically run them off or flee. This is my only choice. It basically says the objective is if the Slyn are attacking, you are trying to fight them off. This prevents you from obtaining any mission rewards. If I manage to run them off, I will get a post-mission find. Now, also sometimes you're going to put contact markers and investigation markers, but that doesn't happen. It says this is strictly a fighting mission. So I rolled for when the Slyn appear, they either show up in 4 or 6, and it says if you're rolling to locate the 6 terrain features. It doesn't say. It says they always appear in 4 or 6, and I'm trying to remember how I came up with 6. Maybe that was part of the roll for when you encounter them. Not really sure. Again, I do apologize because I'm having to flip back and forth in the book, and it's just sort of annoying to have to do that without the real book. Slyn encounters, page 153. Okay. So it says Slyn encounters in a normal mission will either be 6 or 8, formed into 3 or 4 groups. I think I rolled for 6. I'm pretty sure I rolled a 1 to 4. So I pulled out 6, which are represented by these orange aliens here. And if you go to the mission setup, it tells you specifically that I'm going to locate, let me get back to it, the hunt mission. Come on, where are you? Hunt mission. Okay, it says you will deploy the 6 figures, my 6, on any side. Select my battlefield. And it says I can choose anywhere within 3 inches of the edge. So I'll do that in a moment. But for the Slyn, it says the Slyn will... It says roll a d6 for each terrain feature that any of your characters have line of sight to. That's for animals. For the Slyn, it says locate the 6 nearest features. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is too small. Locate the 6 terrain features closest to the battlefield and roll randomly for each Slyn pair. Okay, so I see what it's saying. So what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that'll be how and you place them in pairs. So the first one is going to be, I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're going to be right here. The second pair, 1, they will start behind here. And the third pair, 6, they will start behind here. All right, easy enough. Now the Slyn are interesting. They have this teleport ability, which totally stinks. They also have a ranged weapon of 18 inches, which is not good. They have a toughness of 4, which is not good. And they do an extra point of damage. So if they hit, they add +1 to the damage roll, which is compared to your tough score to decide if you're eliminated or not. If you're looking for the Slyn stats, they're on page 153. They have a move of 5, a combat of +1, tough of 4, and then some other things that may come into it if we get into a brawl. Ideally, I don't want to come near these things because brawling with them, they have claws, you're not going to win. So you want to try and take them out long range. So I'm going to flip this around here. I have 2 troopers. They are orange and blue base. And I also have 4 grunts, which will form a fire team. 3 of the grunts are carrying a standard rifle, and one of them is carrying a machine gun. The machine gun is this real long gun here. Everyone else is the same. So they will operate together. They try to stay within 1 inch of a fellow teammate. My 2 troopers can move however they want. One of them they both have assault guns with a range of 18. So it's the same range. The grunts are carrying range 24 rifles, And the machine gun has a range of 36 and gets 3 shots. So that's not bad. It's 36 if they don't move. If they move, it's a range of 12, but they get 4 shots. I believe that's how I interpret the weapon. If you know better, let me know. All right. So once again, if you're not familiar with 5 leagues or 5 parsecs games, combat takes place, or an encounter, a battle takes place in phases. There's a fast phase, an enemy phase, and then a slow phase. So you can always defer to the slow phase. You can do that. I'm just hoping to survive here. We shall see what we have. So my guys can deploy within 3 inches of this edge. So I'm going to take these guys and move them over here. And I'm going to put these 2 over here. And I've got a lot of cover, but nothing to really get elevation on. I guess they could climb on some of these rocks, but I think we're just going to make this a ground fight. So there is one ancient sign. I've put this alien element up here to remind me there is an ancient sign. So I'm curious about it. They're curious about it. But neither one of us wants the other here. So it's going to be time for me to roll. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 5, actually I roll 4 dice, 1 for each of my units. I'm sorry, 3 dice. The fire team counts as 1, and then these 2 each get 1. So I'm rolling 3 dice, and what I'm looking for is 1s and 2s. I can assign 1s and 2s to anybody. Now, if you can't assign a 1 or 2, they will move in the slow phase. So 1 and 2s will activate. And why is it 1 and 2? Because my troopers and my grunts all have a reaction of 2. So a 1 or a 2 can be assigned. I got a 5, 4, and a 5. So unfortunately, none of my guys are moving in the fast phase, which means the Slin are going to react. So the Slin, they move in pairs, and they know I'm here. They don't know where exactly, but they're going to try to move. Because they don't see me, they will. There is a chart in here where you can roll to sort of give them motives, like are they skittish, are they aggressive, that kind of thing. What I'm going to do until I get a hold of this game and get my copy of the print book is I'm just going to roll for random movement, but they'll try to stay in cover, as will my guys. So let's do these. Which direction? I'm using this directional die. They will move this way. They move 5, and they will always try to stay in cover. So let me get my tape measure here. And this one can move 5, which puts him right here. He can look down, and he sees rocks. This one also moves 5, which will put him right behind. These 2. If they move backwards, I'm going to, if they move anywhere within a range here, I'm going to re-roll. I want them moving out. So they're moving straight out 5 inches. So they'll go this way. And this last group will go this way. Oops, didn't mean to kick the camera. Sorry about that. They will move here, 5 and 5. And that is the enemy phase. So they're sniffing and looking around while my guys are hiding behind rocks. Again, I don't know where they are. I kind of have to pretend I don't, but I do know that this is of interest. So I want to move my fire team towards them. The fire team has a speed of 4. They can run an additional 2 if they don't stop to fire a weapon or whatever. So let me see. How do I want to do that? Do I want them to move their full 6? It's called a rush. So move an additional 2. So they're going to move 4 plus 2 is 6. I'm going to get them all the way. I'm going to try to move them to where they're all sort of staying the same. Like that. And there's a nice raised area here, which is preventing them from seeing me. These 2 guys are going to go hunting. I want them staying in cover. They have plus, one of them has +1, they both have +1 combat, excuse me. So for a roll of a movement of 4 + 2, that could get him almost up to this rock, but he's going to be in range. So I'm going to move, I'm going to be real cautious here and move him up. 6 inches for this one puts him right there behind a rock. All right, he moves behind here, and that is the slow phase. So this should go fairly quickly because, like I said, it's just combat, and I'm just doing fast phase, creature phase, slow phase, kind of like that. And I'll keep rolling dice to see who moves. All right, now I rolled 2 2s. So I can choose 2 of my guys here, or I could choose the whole fire team to move. And I think I might want to do that. One of the things you can do, there's a okay, let's see. Life forms and attack enemies activate. The sling sleepers are not affected by hesitation. Okay, that's good to know. All right, let's go. I could move 1 up high, and he might say, we've got contact. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 1 up here. The rest will go with him. And he's looking down, and he can see 1. I have a direct line of sight to that one right there. Now he moved, and now he can shoot. So the way combat works, I will roll a d6. I'm looking to roll. It depends on whether the enemy is in cover, if they're within range of their weapon. Now remember, my grunts, that one has a range of 24, which should do, because this is 32. So for 24 is right there. If I put it in the center of him and cross, it definitely is within range. I'm within range. He's not in cover, but he's not within 6. So if he's in the open, I need a 5 or higher. Now remember, all my grunts have a +0 combat, so they have nothing to modify the roll. So I'm going to roll this green die, and what I'm looking for is a 5 or a 6. I rolled a 6. Now in some of the games, a 6, there's a benefit for rolling a 6, but not this time. A 6 indicating, okay, scatter, rolling to hit. So I did hit it. For each weapon that rolls, for each hit that rolls a d6, here's what you do. You roll for damage. Now their damage on their rifles is +0, so I'm going to roll this again. If the roll is above the toughness, they're killed. If it's equal, they are sent sprawling, and if it's below, they are stunned. So let's roll to see what we get. I rolled a 4. Their toughness is 4. So since it's equal, they are sent sprawling. Sprawling says sprawling figures can be marked with a suitable counter or laid on the table. A sprawling character can be moved through by allies. If a character has been knocked sprawling, they can perform no actions of any kind next activation except to regain their footing when they activate. After their next activation, they are recovered. So that one gets laid down. And we now know there's a group over there because he can see at least 2. So, and here's another interesting thing about the Slin. When you kill one, it doesn't really kill them. You have to kill a pair, either each one. You have to knock one out and then kill the other one, or kill one and then kill the second one and then they're removed. Or if you kill the same one twice, if I beat the same miniature's toughness twice, it's the same thing. They're linked psychically. So when you do 2 kill points or two deaths, it's enough to wipe out a pair. Now the Slin also have this thing they do where I'm going to have to find it. They are very powerful. They are almost, in my opinion, too powerful. They have a teleportation ability, which I'm going to get. I'm going to find it in just a second. The Slin encounters Slin on the battlefield. 150 distortion. There it is. 153. Okay. The Slin can move using close distance teleportation. At the start of each enemy phase, randomly select a Slin pair and move them 2d6 in a random direction. Okay, so I didn't do that last turn, but I'll start this turn. And again, this comes down to I'm having to flip through this PDF, and it's just really a pain in the rear. All right, so let's do that this turn. So my guy, one moved. I also remember I rolled a 2 twice. So I'm going to have, so they radioed that we have a sighting. This guy is going to step out, and he can see one. It's not in the open. It's not the pair. These two are pair, and the two in the back are pair. He is within 24 inches. That is my, actually he has a range of 18. He needs to get closer. So 18 to him would be, if I move it, he could move to right here behind this rock, and he's got a shot. So he will take a shot. That is, he has a range of 18. He gets 2 shots with his weapon. He has an assault gun. 2 shots means I roll 2d6s to see if I get. Now he's within range. He's not behind cover, so I need 5s and 6s to hit. And I got a single 5, so 1 shot hits, and then you roll to beat the toughness. Now this weapon, actually it was +1 combat, so that is a 6. That was a 5 and a 4. +1 combat makes this a 6 and a 5, so that is 2 hits. 2 hits, so I get 2 chances to try to kill this thing. There's no bonus to the damage, so I'm looking for 5s and 6s to kill one, so to speak. I got a 3 and a 4. The 4 matches the toughness, so this one is sent sprawling. Actually, it was that one. All right, there we go. That is the end of the fast phase. So let me spin this around here. And remember, at the start of a Slin turn, it says at the start of each enemy phase, select a random Slin pair. Well, the ones that are sprawling, it won't be these because they're down. So it'll have to be these. These 2 over here are going to teleport 2d6 inches. Let's see how many inches. 5 inches in a random direction. Which way will they? And they can teleport off, and I'll explain that in a minute. They go this way 5 inches. So they are off the map, which stinks because in a minute they're going to reappear a random direction from the center. It says at the start of the next enemy phase, they reappear 2d6 from the center of the table instead. 2d6. So the center of the table is right here, and they'll appear. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Now they activated. These guys will activate. Now remember, they stay within an inch of each other. So this one is just going to move into cover. This one can stand up. This one can stand up, and this one. Does it say they have to be within the Slin? They normally, yes. Slin are always set in pairs within 1 each. Each pair will move in order to remain within 1 inch of each other. Should they be separated, they will try to move back. So this one will just step up into cover. These 2 took hits, and they were knocked down, but they weren't stunned and they weren't killed. So these things are going to be tough to kill. All right, teleported off, and these guys moved. They're done. They can't do anything. They are not, the 2 that were stunned could not return fire. They had to stand up. So now we come back to my side. We are now in the slow phase, which means this one is going to get to activate. He will listen to this. He will move up, and he will fire at the one that was just knocked down. He's firing 2 shots. He's +1. I rolled a 1-1, which normally, I don't know if that does anything. In another game, rolls of 1 are not good, but I think in this one, I can't remember. I don't remember reading anything about it. So he misses. And that is it. That is it for the slow phase. I'm going to roll for the reaction phase. I got 3 3s, which means I am not going to get to activate in the fast phase. So let's put these guys here. Let's roll a random direction for them. Let's see where they go. Spin around here. So from here, they're going to move in a random direction straight ahead. 2d6 inches. 8. Oh, man. And I think that's all they do this turn. So from here, 8 inches is going to be right here. Why do I know that? Because these tiles are 8 inches. So from here to there is 8 inches. And guess what? They are now behind my 2 guys. All right. This counts as a teleport for this round. Slen can move normally after teleport. It does not replace their normal movement. Oh, okay. This is not good. They have a beam weapon. Now, they could run towards me, but they would probably, if it were me, I would just shoot because they have a better chance. This one, they both can shoot at orange here. So the one on the left will shoot. He has +1 combat. He rolls a 3. A 4 does not hit. Actually, it does. If you're within 6, a 3 hits. Oh, man. This could be the shortest fight video. Let me double check. I'm 99% sure that the shooting attack is a 3. It is. If it's within 6 and in the open. So I've got partial cover, but you know what? I'm going to say it's in cover. I'm going to move him up just a hair and say he was in cover. So a 5 would be needed. He rolled a 3, he got a 4, so he misses. This one will shoot, also into cover, and rolls a 6, so he does hit. My toughness on orange is a 3, and remember, the damage is +1. 2 + 1 is 3. That equals my toughness, so I am sent sprawling. Man, all right. And these 2 have fired. Come back here. Now everybody can move. They see my guy, so this one will move up to stay with his partner. This one will step partially into cover and fire at that one. It's within 18, no cover, so he needs a 5. He rolls a 2 plus his 1 is 3, which misses. These 2 are going to come around this way. So they will move 4 plus 4 and 2. This one will move right behind him. So they're going to try and come around this side. Come by over here. My poor guy is sprawling. So he will stand up, but he can't do anything else. This one will move over here into cover and fire at this one. I'm within range. He's not in cover, so I need a 5, but I have +1 combat, so I need a 4. I got a 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, so I do hit him. Does it beat his toughness? No modifier to the damage. I rolled a 3, which is below his toughness, so it says if the roll is below, they are stunned. So the way I do this is I place a die to indicate 1. He is stunned. Because it says if you take a multiple hits, if a figure is stunned, place a marker. A character can read 3 stuns at a time. A stunned character is at penalty if engaged. When the character exits, they remove 1. After completer, stunned enemies will move to cover or out of sight if they have no ranged attack or in ranged. That's interesting. It used to be that 3 stunned would kill you. Place a marker. Events in the game, such as being struck by attack, will also result. A stunned character is at penalty. When a stunned character activates, they may move or perform an action, but not both. So you can only shoot or move. Enemies may move or attack while stunned. Okay. So I stunned this one. This one can't do anything, so that's him done. We have these guys. This guy just got shot at. This one can see that one, so I'm going to have him rush down into cover And I'm going to have this one move here. Now he's got partial cover, but that will free up one of my other guys to fire at him. I'm hoping to get 2 hits on this one. The rest, this guy is going to move up into cover, and this guy is going to move here as well. Actually, if he moves there, he can see the one that was just stunned. So I'm going to get 3 shots off. They're all in cover, or both of these are in cover. So let's do this far one first. We'll fire at this one. He needs a, he's +0 combat, so he needs a 6 because he's in cover. And he misses. This one is firing. He needs a 6, and he bails. This one's firing at that one and needs a 6 and misses. All right, so that is it for my fire team. It is now, that's the slow phase. So now we go and we roll for the reaction phase. I got a 1, a 3, and a 4. Well, if I give the 1 to my fire team, they could rush forward and maybe get a bunch of shots off. But, this is risky. Because one of these groups is going to teleport in a minute. I'm going to keep him in cover, and I'm going to have this one move over here into cover and fire at this one again. He is +1. I rolled a 4. A 5 does hit because he's not in cover. His toughness is 4. I'm adding nothing to this one. The damage is +0. But I rolled a 5, which does beat its toughness, which means this one takes a kill point. So remember, if I do it again, that pair will get killed. So, so I'm going to use this one to track the number of kill points instead of stunned. I usually have these little red cubes that I use to track for stunned, but I don't have any of those right now. All right, so that's good. So if I can hit this group one more time, they're dead. But the bad news is I'm out of reaction, which means they're going to get to move. So which team is going to teleport? 1, 2, 3, 4, and back there is 5, 6. These guys will teleport again in a random direction. How many inches? 8. And then we use this die to pull their, that way, 8 inches. All right. So 8 inches puts them in this clearing here, and they've got cover. Or do they? Now they can activate. So this one, if they turn here, they can see one of my guys. Actually, only one of them can. This one right here can see this guy. So he will fire his beam weapon. He needs a, it's partial cover. There's partial cover, so within range, partial cover is a 5 or higher. He rolls a 2 + 1 is 3, so he misses. But these over here, oh, this one can totally see him. This one will scoot forward. This one will scoot forward. That one can fire on him in total open. He needs a 5. He rolls a 2 + 1 is 3, and he misses. These are going to run as far as they can into cover. They can hide behind here. Yes. They're trying to scoot up. They'll stay behind this terrain. And that is it for the enemy phase. Slow phase is this guy. This guy, if you moved 6, that's in cover. I don't want to do that. I'm going to move him over here into cover, and he's done. Hold on. If he moves there, he's got a shot at that one. So yeah, if I put it there, and it's not cover, so he gets 2 shots. He's +1, so he needs a 4. He rolls a 6 and a 5, which is 2 hits. If one of these hits gets through his toughness, those 2 are dead. The toughness is 4. I get to add nothing to these rolls, so I need a 5 or a 6 to kill him. And I got a 6, so these 2 are killed. That's 2 dead. That's not bad. All right. Okay. That was him. He moved, and then now it's I moved him. He took the shot. They teleported. Now he moved. Now these guys will get to go. Okay. They radio. Do they see anybody? He cannot. So I don't know where they're coming from. So I need to regroup. But this one right here knows there's a bunch over there. So the question is, maybe I could get a whole bunch of shots in. I'm going to take a chance here. This grunt runs up. This one runs here. Actually, right there. This one will run right here. And this one right there. And I can line them up so all 4 of them, have a shot on that front guy right there. Right here. All right, so let's just go in order. We'll go this way. Get my dice. These guys only get 1 shot. Actually, one of my guys has a machine gun, so they're all within range. That's within 18. So, first one is just a standard assault gun. He gets, standard rifle. Range of 24, 1 shot. So he will shoot. It's within range, no cover, 5 or higher, and he's +0. I rolled a 5, so it is a hit. Does it get through his toughness? I do not do any additional damage, so I need a 5 or a 6. I got a 5. That's 1 death or 1 kill point. The next one, the machine gun guy is going to fire. Machine gun gets, he did move, so he's only going to get 3 shots. So I roll 3 dice. I need what did I say? 5s and 6s. And I got nothing because he has no +0. So he wasted that. The next one in the middle will fire. He needs a 5 or 6. He got a 3. He misses. This one will fire and misses. So they all miss. And that is the end of the slow phase. Now what I need is... I really do need to win some reaction rolls here. I need some 1s and 2s. And I got nothing. So they will activate. Now, one of these guys is going to teleport. Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These guys will teleport in a random direction. How far? 10 inches. Which direction? This way, 10 inches. That may... It doesn't take them off the map. But that makes sense because one of them just got hit and they just reacted and teleported away. Now the problem is they can move and they can fire, but there's nowhere they can move to. Well, that's not true. This one can move here, and he's got a partial shot, so it would need a 6, or he's in cover. He would need a 6, but he's +1, so he needs a 5 or higher. I rolled a 1 and he misses. These are gonna rush up 6 inches. They're trying to come around and get me. That is the end of their phase. It is now slow phase, which is all my guys. This guy saw them teleport. If he moves over, he can take a shot. Yep. And this one, if he moves here, can take a shot. This one, if he moves sort of back, he can take a shot. So I'm only going to be able to get 3 shots in. I'll just move him up. He's watching the rear. All right, so it'll give me 3 chances here. I don't know about these guys over here. They're sneaking up. So this guy will fire. He's a 1 shot. He gets +0, so he needs a 5 or 6. He rolled a 6, so he hit. Does it get through the toughness? I need a 5 or 6. I rolled a 3. It does not. A 3 is stunned. So I'm not worried about stunned right now. This one will fire a machine gun. He gets to fire his 3 shots. He needs 5s and 6s. I got 1 6. He does not have a bonus. Does it get through? I need a 5 or 6, and these guys will be dead. I got a 5, which beats the toughness, and another pair is eliminated. That's two kill shots made against the group. All right. Since this one didn't take a shot, I'm going to have him continue to move up. He's in cover. He sees the 2 trying to sneak around. He'll get a quick shot off. He needs a 5. He needs a 5 or 6. He rolls a 6 on this one. Right there. Does it get through his toughness? I need a 5 or 6. It does not, so it stuns him. And that is the end of the slow phase. Reaction again. I got 2 1s. This could decide the game. I'll give 1 to the fire team, and I'm going to give 1 to this guy who might be able to... That is a long shot. That's probably out of range. He's just going to move over here, and he's done. All right. We know they're there. So I'm going to send this guy over. I'm going to send this guy over. I'm going to send this guy over. And this one, yeah, I can get them all. It may be hard for you to see, but I'm trying to get where I can see one particular one. So I've got all 4. Actually, this one and this one could shoot here, but I'm going to aim at the same one. So let's do regular shot first. He needs a 5 or 6. He gets a 6. Does it beat a 5? Does it get 5 or 6? I rolled a 4, which does not. It is sprawled. But we're still going to shoot him. The next one we'll shoot. He's a machine gun. He fires 3 shots. Actually, we'll shoot this one. Because if I can sprawl him, the only thing they can do is stand up. Need a 5 or 6. I got a single 5. Does it beat his toughness? 5 or 6. It does not, but he is sent sprawling. Now, the only thing is their turn is stand up. Normally they would teleport away, but it said if they're sprawled, the only thing they can do is stand up. So that's going to be that. My third guy over here will run forward into cover, and now we go to reaction phase again. I got a 1 and a 2. So once again, I'll give the 1 to the fire team and the 2 to this guy over here. This guy is going to move up all the way to here. And the fire team is all going to shoot again. Now the good news is, since they didn't move, the machine gun guy is going to get 4 shots. So these guys are up. I'll have the one on the left fire. He needs a 5 or 6. He misses. Machine gun gets to fire 4 shots, 5 or 6s. He got a 6. So he did hit. 5 or 6 will do a kill point. It does not. Man. All right, but it does sprawl him again because it was a 4. The one next to him will shoot at the one standing. He needs a 5 or 6. He got a 6. Does it kill him? He got a 2, which he's stunned. And then the last one, 5 or 6, I rolled a 1 and he misses. So the only thing this guy can do is stand. But what I'll do is I will say they can teleport since 1 was active. They will teleport how many inches? 10 inches in what direction? And I'm rolling this with respect to this way. This way, 10 inches. Which puts them right here. Boom. Now, when they do, they can both take a shot at that grunt, which I would do. They each fire. They are +1 to hit, so they need, that's within 6, so they need 4s or higher. 1 hit. Does it get through his toughness? It is +1 damage. Yes, it does, and he is taken out. He is out of the game. Not necessarily dead, but he's down. All right, the last one is this guy. This guy actually has a shot, and I'm going to take it. He is range of 18. He may not have the range. Yeah, he does. He's in partial cover, or he's in cover, but they're not. So I'm going to move him just over a little bit. He can roll, he gets 2 shots. He's firing an assault gun. He needs 5s or 6s. I got a 6. He does +1, but a 4 doesn't hit. It doesn't do any bonus damage, so a 5 or 6 will kill it, and I got a 1. It doesn't do anything. And that is it for slow phase. Reaction phase. I got a single 1. I will give that to my... We know where they are, so these guys will all run over and shoot at the closest one. The machine gun guy is still alive, so he will only roll 3 dice. He needs a 5 or 6. He got a 6, so he got 1 hit. Is it a 5 or 6 to kill it? It's a 6, so we do have 1 death point on this. The other 2 will fire at the same one, might as well. Actually, no, they'll just fire at the same one. Each one of them is rolling 1 dice. I'm just going to roll twice. They need 5s or 6s. I got a 6 and a 4, so 1 does hit. On a 5 or 6, they're dead. And I got a 3, which is not enough. That stuns them. And that is the end of the turn, except now they get to go, because that was my fast phase. They will teleport, since they're the only group left, 9 inches. Which direction? This way, which is going to bring them off the table. It does. So on the next phase, they will come back in. I get a slow phase, which is this guy right here. He doesn't know where they're going to teleport, so what he's going to do is he's going to move into here, into cover. All right. It is now reaction phase again. I got a single 2. Now, they haven't appeared, so I don't know where they're going to appear. So my 3 fire team, we're going to get them into cover. We're going to pull them back here in all they're looking in all directions. All right. And I only did the 1, so now I roll for these guys. They will 2d6 inches. They will be 7 inches from the center. Where in the center? That way. All right, hold on. That way, 7 inches, which means right here. Okay. They're in partial cover. Now they can activate. Now, can they see me? This one can see this guy. I'm in partial cover, so he'll take a shot. 5 or 6, but he needs he's got +1. So he does hit. Does he get through my toughness of 3? Toughness of 3. He rolls a 2. He is +1 damage, which is a 3. It equals it, so he is stunned. Or sprawled. Sprawled. He's sprawled. All right, but you gave up your location. So, and remember, they have 1 kill point on them. So if I can get 1 more, they're out. This guy, he knows he's gone down. He's going to play hero. He's going to run over here. He's got an open shot on that one right there. He will take it. 2 shots. He needs a 5 or 6. He got 2 6s. If one of these green dice is a 5 or 6, that will do it. I got a 5, and he kills another kill point, which kills the Slin. Ugh. Now, did I make mistakes? Probably. I probably missed a rule here or there, but I'm trying to have fun and tell a story about my colony. So I'm not going to worry too much about when I flub a rule or miss something. It's just cool. So my guys managed to pull it off. They defeated the Slin, which is going to give me a post mission roll. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the camera off of the table and I'm going to put it down on the table and I'll go through the post-battle rolls. I'll be back in just a second. All right, on page 66 of the book, step 8 is play out the mission. Now we are to step 9. This was 8. I forget what 7 was. What was 7? Lock and load. 7 was just get your weapons picked out. So step 9, injuries. Characters that became casualties may have suffered a range of fates. I did have 1 guy. So there is an injury table. You roll a D100. And once again, I am lacking the proper dice. 1 second. I need to roll a D100. Yellow is high. I rolled a 90. 90 is 61 to 95. Okay, the character's fine. So he has a good story to tell. So the injury is none. Now, I automatically lose 1 morale for taking a mission. So I'm down to 0 currently. Is this that's acrylic. I don't want to write with that. That won't. That's a paint marker. So I'm down to 0 just for doing that. All right. For each casualty, roll a D100 on the injury. No injury. Experience. Here we go. So a character receives XP. So here's the mission XP table. Participated in the battle, everybody gets 1. So this one goes to 1, 1. By the way, these guys had never been in anything, so they were just XP 0. The grunts don't get XP. So my troopers do. Did not become a casualty. Well, one of the grunts did, so they both get another one, so they're up to 2. And then directly killed an enemy boss or leader, I did not. So those are for like tactical things. So they each have 2 XP, which I don't really have enough yet to do anything. It takes 5 to do a random advancement roll, and they don't have it. So let's go to step 11. So +2 per trooper XP. Step 11 is colony morale. The morale of your colony is in constant change. It automatically drops during this step, which I just did. If you were playing a rescue mission, blah, 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 it will drop an additional point for every battle casualty. I didn't have any casualties. If a crisis is ongoing, it's not. Track enemy information and mission data. If you fought a tactical enemy, I did not, so I skipped step 12. And step 13 is replacements. Well, I didn't have any of my main troopers die, so I don't have to worry about that. Step 14, research. During this step, you receive research points. Now, on my sheet here, my research is 1. And last video I said I was spending 6. It turns out I was way off. I had to reread that. You have to buy certain buildings in order to build. You have to build advanced buildings to do advanced weapons. So I have 6 currently, and now I'm going to have 7 because I chose not to spend any of them. Building points, I get 1. So now I have 2 building points, which can be spent on building those buildings. Colony integrity. My integrity is currently 0, so it's fine. You don't want it to get down to -3 or less. And then you roll for a character event. Randomly select 1 character. So I have 8 characters here. So what I'll do is I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll roll a D10 and I'll re-roll 9s and 10s. I rolled a 1, which is Ben, my scout. He gets a roll, a D100 roll on the character event. I rolled a 64. 64 is on page 71. It is a personal life achievement. Something significant happened. Receive 1 story point and 1 point of colony morale. I think I got that last time. So I get a story point. I'm up to 5, and a morale point. Ben passed his driver's test. You know, hey, they got buggies on this world. He's a young scout and passed his driving exam, and everybody's happy. Party time. All right. Now, I am not going to spend any research or build points right now. I want to make sure I understand those chapters better. So that's going to be that. Now, it did say at the end of the hunt mission, by the way, let me read this. At the end of the hunt mission, I was in sector 2-4, which has a resource of 6 and a hazard of 2. It says if it has a hazard value, roll a d6, and on a 5 or 6, it's reduced by 1. I rolled a 5, so that sector goes down to a hazard of 2. That was 2-4. So I'll scratch out that. It goes down to H1, hazard of 1. Why is that important? Because certain missions, when you go to certain sectors, there are things that will happen based on how many hazards are in that thing. So by reducing the number of hazards, I've reduced the danger that will be in that sector if I ever revisit it. All right. That is it for the combat mission and the post rolls. I will be back in a week with the next video. I'll do the pre-battle rolls. I'll do the battle. I'll do the post-battle rolls, and we'll see where we go. So Atlas Alpha is the name of my colony. Morale is high. A 1 is good. Trust me, 1 is great. We are now going to be going to campaign turn number 3. And I have no casualties. My grunts survived. I may take the robot out next turn. I don't know what I'm going to do next turn, but we will figure it out. All right, everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of 5 Parsecs from Home, Planetfall. I'll be back very soon with the next episode. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.